So let's just get straight into it. Um, my name is Olatide Onilenla. I'll be taking us for the next 30, 35 minutes. I'll be trying to talk to us about sales, selling. As you all know, all of you know the topic. And I'm aware that it is a Saturday night, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and most of us have plans for tomorrow. Outside of that, most of us already had like a very long day. So the idea of this class is not to come and bore you with very uninteresting things and waste your time, especially since most of you are already like tired, from the hustle and bustle of the day. But I can promise you two things if you stick to the end. Now, the first thing I can promise you is that on this class, you're going to learn new things. That's definite. And the second thing I'd also promise you is that you'll be reminded of things that you already know, because I'm a very strong believer in mastery. And I believe that you should hear things over and over and over again. Even though you know those things, you should keep it simple and you should do it over and over and over again. So this class is going to be very educative, it's very interactive, and I hope you are able to learn something from me. And I also hope, I'm able to learn something from you. So let's go straight into it. So the first thing I want to talk about today is the mindset of a salesperson. Now, I have a very bad habit of teaching this topic, no matter what I'm teaching. So even if I'm teaching a sales funnel, I'm teaching people how to retain their customers, I'm teaching people how to get new customers, I always make sure that I teach them about the mindset of a salesperson. Now, I realized this thing about 2 or 3 years ago, and what I actually realized is that most of us think that we need more information before we can become better salespeople. And I'm sure like 80% of people on this call right now, they've been to a sales class before. This is not your first sales class. And I have bad news for you, which is that this will not be your last sales class if you don't fix your mindset. Now, there's a reason why you go for a lot of sales classes and not get results. And it is not because of the speaker. Because usually, if you think about it realistically enough, you realize that most people that they invite on this platform to come and talk, most of them, they have results to show for it. And they come here, they talk about the things that they've done, they talk about the results that they have, they talk to you about how they were able to accomplish that result. But you notice that sometimes you can hear things and you're still not functioning at the level that you want to function at. Somebody that is doing something has told you exactly how they do it, but you cannot still replicate the results that that person is getting. It means that the problem is not with the speaker. The problem might just be with us. And the truth about it is that most of us have the wrong type of mindset. Now, the truth is that if there are two salespeople, one person has a good mindset but has like no sales skills, and the other person has all the sales skills but has a poor mindset, the guy that has the right type of sales skills is going to the right type of mindset is going to outsell the guy that has skills but doesn't have the right type of mindset. So the mindset is the most important part of the sales process. Now, there are two types of mindsets on average. Now, the first one is the right type of mindset, which is the one that I want you guys to have at the end of this class. Now, if you have the right type of mindset, these are the symptoms that you'll be seeing. If you hear things, you believe them. If you hear things, you'll be able to process them. You'll be optimistic about sales. You will not have like a self-defeating nature. You don't have a self-limiting nature and all of that. But if you have a bad type of mindset, there are two things that are going to happen. Now, the first thing is that you hear some things, but you will not believe them. So, for example, if somebody comes and says that, look, I did a deal of 105 million naira this week, you probably think the person is lying. It means that if you have a bad type of mindset, you hear information, but you will not believe it. Now, the second thing that will happen to you if you have the bad type of mindset is that you are going to hear things, you are going to believe them, but you'll not be able to perform at a certain type of frequency, meaning that you'll be limiting yourself to mindset. You'll be able to do big deals. There'll be figures that will be sounding strange to you, and it is all because you have the wrong type of mindset. Now, there's a story I would love to share with you guys. When I first started my real estate journey, it was about, because I have over half a decade experience marketing and selling real estate. So when I first started selling real estate in my first year, I'm sure most of you will be very familiar with this challenge. You're putting on all your social media platforms, your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook, every single day, but nobody was buying. Now, after 1 year of posting consistently that nobody was buying, something very interesting happened. So somebody reached out to me on Instagram and said, young man, you've been posting for a while and I see your content, I see all of that. Just to support you, I'm going to buy a property from you. So send me your listings and let's just see how it goes. I'm talking about 8, 9, 10 years ago. And who can guess what I did when the man reached out to me for a chance to win 10,000 naira? So I'll take only 2 answers. Who can guess what I did when the man reached out to me? Does anybody want to try? I'll take just 2 answers. Just 2 answers. If you get it correctly, you can stand a chance to win 10,000 naira. So who can guess what I did when the man reached out to me? Does anybody want to try? Please raise your hand if you want to try. Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Yes, you can speak up. Mr. Williams, what did I do?
Maybe you were happy and you thank him for at least being the first person to reach out to you and
No, wrong,
says he would like to buy from.
wrong. Somebody else. What did I do?
You sent the cheapest property you have in your catalog.
Drop the phone number at the end of the class. What happened was that. Yeah, so what happened was that at the time when I was trying, at the time, please can you put off the microphone? Switch off the microphone. Switch off the microphone. Thank you very much. So can you hear me, please? Am I audible again? Please just send your stickers, your smiley, all of that. You can hear me properly. Okay, good. So what I did was that when the man reached out to me because he wanted to buy a property, I looked for the cheapest property that I could find in my catalog and I sent it to the man because I had the wrong type of mindset. Now, it was because at the time when I wanted to make a sale, I was so desperate about the sale that anything would do. Now, this was a very poor type of mentality because this man we're talking about was an MD Standard Chartered. He could buy a property for 40 million naira. But because I was so desperate to make the deal happen, I sold myself short. And imagine if I was going for sales classes. I was hearing a lot of people speak. Maybe the owner of land will come to talk. I go for his tutorial class. The owner of a lot of all these big real estate companies, I'm going for all their seminars, I'm going for all of that. I would not make sales because it's like trying to build a 4-story foundation, a 4-story building on a very, very weak foundation. It is not going to stand. So a lot of problems that we're struggling with as salespeople is not to go for new classes every week. That is not what the problem is. The problem is actually to fix the mindset, to fix the things that you actually believe are possible. Now, I'm not exactly sure how many Christians are here, but there's a part in the Bible that says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is it, meaning that it's your thoughts that actually inform your actions. Most of you think that if you go for this class, or if you go for this seminar, or if you go for this course, you're going to start selling like every single day. You hit your sales targets. Wrong. If you don't fix it on the inside, nothing is going to happen on the outside. So you need to find a way to fix that core mindset. Find out your limiting beliefs and fix them as soon as possible. Now, it's very painful for me because this mindset thing, for me, I can teach it for 2 hours at a stretch, but I always make it a little part of anything I'm about to teach. So I can form the foundation of stuff and people can understand exactly what I'm trying to say. So fix your mindset. Now, I think that as a salesperson, there's you should have like a blueprint of how you operate in your mind. You should have like a set of mindset beliefs that you go by, things that are unshakable, things that you imprinted on your mind and nothing can change your mind about it. So very quickly, I'm going to be sharing 4 of the type of mindsets prints I think you should have at the back of your mind as a salesperson. You can write it down somewhere, you can have it in your jotter, you can have it somewhere that you easily remember, but understand that these are the principles that you will have going into any sales process. I have about 15 of them, but for the purpose of this class, I'll share just 5 with you. Now, the first one is that understand that these 5 tips are really going to help your mindset, by the way. So the first one is understand that you are not asking for help from the client. Instead, you are the one that is giving help to the client. Please write this down. It's very important. You are not demanding help from the client. You are the one that is trying to help the client out. Most of us have the mindset of trying to earn a commission. And we take this mindset into the sales process. So if you are talking to somebody about a 10 million naira property today, your mind is already fixed on the 1 million naira that you're going to get a commission. So you already position the client as somebody that's trying to help you get 1 million naira. And if you think like this, it's going to affect your thoughts. It's going to affect your tonality. It's going to affect how you approach that sales conversation. Your mindset about the sales process is going to be messed up because you're approaching the client like somebody that's trying to receive help, not somebody that's trying to give help. Now, today is 11th of March or 8th of March 2025. As a real estate agent, if you don't know that it's your job to help people achieve dreams and you are giving them something of value, then you should not be a real estate sales agent. It should be something else. If you still think that it's the client that's helping you by buying from you, then you would never be a successful real estate agent. Most of us will call the clients on the phone and say something like, "I'm sorry to disturb you. Can I talk to you about real estate?" You're not disturbing them. You're about to give them the next big thing. And guess what? If you sell something good to a client, in 10 years, if the property of 10 million is now 40 million naira, they would not remember you. But if they buy something from you today and in 10 years that property has an issue, they'll call you and they'll sue you and they'll drag it to court. It means that they will enjoy the benefits of the product, but they will not enjoy the problem of the product with you. Understand that you are giving your client something of value. You are not a beggar. Don't go in with the mentality that the client is trying to help you by buying a property from you. A commission is a byproduct of the work that you do. It's just something that happens on the side. Your job is to give value, and by accident, by just cause and effect, you are getting a commission from it. So stop being a footmat in the sales process. Don't let people step all over you because you are trying to sell real estate. You are not a beggar. Understand that you are the one that is helping the client. The client is not helping you out. At worst, understand that you are helping each other. If it's difficult for you to think that you are giving out help, understand that you are helping them get something of value, and in return, they are paying you for your services. So don't enter the sales process or the sales negotiation room with the mentality that this person is trying to help me by buying this property from you. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is that understand that you are going to make mistakes. Now, the thing about most of us is that, please, I hope you're writing these points down. The thing about most of us is that we think that we have to be perfect in the sales process. Now, share another story with you. Now, when I first started selling real estate, I think it was my second year or my third year, I was selling a property for another real estate company. I don't want to mention their name. And I wasn't properly informed about the development on what I was selling. So I did an ad on Facebook and I let the ad run for like 2 months. So once in a while, when my money finishes, I go and renew the ad again. So it was running consistently for like 2 months. Somebody reacted to the ad and called me and said that, young man, this property that is selling on Monastery Road, is the property still available? I said, yes. He said, how many square meters is the property? I said, 600 square meters. He said, okay, can we go for inspections tomorrow? I said, yes. He asked me how much the property was. I told him the amount of the property. So he said, we arranged an inspection for the next day by 10 a.m. Now, by 7 p.m. that same day, the man called me. I said, young man, why are you a liar? And I'm like, what do you mean by why am I a liar? He said, why are you trying to defraud me? So I'm like, I'm not trying to defraud you. He said that, well, this property has been sold out about 2 weeks ago. So why would you still be advertising the property as if the property was still available? Now, it wasn't because I was trying to lie to him. I just wasn't informed that the property was sold out. So I was still marketing it. But that singular action, I did not forgive myself for it for a very, very long time. But understand that sometimes the client will ask you about something that you might not know the answer to. Sometimes you might fumble about the documents that the property has. Sometimes you might be late for an inspection. Sometimes you might have to tell some soft lies to get away from pressure from the client. But understand that you are a salesperson. But before you're a salesperson, you're a human being, and then you can make mistakes. So during the sales process, if you get something wrong, you say something you're not supposed to say, you do something you're not supposed to do, don't beat yourself down and have low self-esteem because of it. You're a salesperson and then you're not perfect. So understand that during the sales process, during the negotiation process, you are going to make mistakes. And when those mistakes happen, don't beat yourself down for it. Apologize if you have to, or just ignore it and move on to the next thing. Now, the third thing you need to understand is that sometimes in your sales journey, you are going to have a drought. So most times, if you are a salesperson, there'll be 2 months, 3 months. Sometimes, as I am, I still go 6 months without making a sale. So that should not make you feel as if you are doing anything wrong. And in the space of that time, you see your colleagues, people that you're working with, selling with, they'll be closing deals like every other day. Understand that the mindset you should have is that, look, your own customers are going to find you. As long as you are consistently delivering value, as long as you are putting content out, as long as you are cold calling, as long as you have like a sales funnel, as long as you are doing everything that you are supposed to do to close the deal, eventually it will be your turn. So don't think that because other people are closing deals, because you have a friend, you guys started together, this person sold 10 plots today, and because you've not sold anything in like 2 years, it's not making you feel bad. That's not the mindset you have as a super salesperson. Understand that everybody has their own clients, and anybody that buys from anybody is God that sent them to the person. Don't have the mindset that somebody is doing better than you. The competition is with yourself to be better than you were yesterday, not with your colleagues. You understand? The competition is just with you and being a better salesperson every single day. It is not about, looking at what other people are doing and trying to emulate. Obviously, there's a place for mentorship. There's a place to emulate good behavior and other sales strategies. But understand that it's an individual race, and a drought is coming, whether I like it or not. There will be weeks you won't sell. I'm sorry to disappoint. There will be months you won't sell. In fact, some of you will go for a drought for like 1 year, but your comeback will be massive. So don't worry about it. If you are not selling as consistently as you'd like, don't worry about it. Understand that a drought is also part of the process, but just keep your head down and keep doing what you're supposed to do. Now, another thing I would like to add is that not all your prospects are going to buy. Please understand that the earlier you know that, the better. I've made peace with it. There's a place for consistently talking to clients about the products that you have. There's a place for persistent. There's a place for, I hope you've not forgotten the conversation we had yesterday. There's a place for, don't forget the inspection that we have planned for tomorrow. There's a place for that. I understand that as a salesperson. You have to be, intentional, and you have to be sometimes persuasive. You have to be consistent in chasing these clients. But understand that not everybody is going to buy. Not everybody is going to buy your product. Some clients will just never buy from you. And it's not because the product is not good. And it's not because you are not a good salesperson. Some clients might be self-sabotaging. They might know that the product is good for them. They might have the money. But some people just have bad habits, bad spending habits. Some people make bad decisions, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, I'm just going to put this here. Your job as a salesperson is not to convince anybody to buy anything. Your job as a sales process is to give people information so you can make somebody's mic is on, please. It will be very nice if you switch it off. Thank you very much. So your job as a salesperson is not to force anybody to buy anything. Your job as a salesperson is to give people enough information so they can come to that decision by themselves. So your job is to guide them towards making the right decision. You cannot dip your hands in your pockets and bring money out of people's pockets. So people just not buy from you. So these are the type of mindset that you should have when you're going into like a sales process. Now, the last type of mindset I think that you should have is never put money above your dignity. Now, they are like hardwired rules I have at the back of my mind. All these things I'm telling you are things that it took me a couple of years to coin, a couple of years to hardwire into my brain. But any clients I'm talking to, I can promise you that this is the mindset, this is the mentality that I'm entering the sales process with. Never ever put money above your dignity and your self-respect. There are some clients that will be rude. There are some clients that will be disrespectful. There are some clients that will be insulting. There are some clients that will just treat you like shit. And it is not your job to stomach it or to continue trying to force a relationship with them all because you want to get a commission. The truth is that a client that doesn't value you or your product, you have no business doing any type of business with them. Avoid them. Clients that respect you, respect your time, that will value your product, you find another way. Okay, so don't try and force anybody to do anything. Once you sense disrespect, you sense somebody's not valuing your time, you sense somebody's not being respectful towards you, pack your things and leave. So these are my 5. I told you I have 15 of them, but these are 5 of the most important ones for me. And you don't even have to copy these things verbatim. You have to just coin your own as you go on in your real estate journey. So understand that these things I said now might not be things that you agree with, but you need to be a principled person in your mindset. To have a good type of mindset that can help you consistently close deals, you need to have a set of rules that you write down, that you read to yourself every single day. These are the things that I will not do. This is how I operate. That is how to be a person of integrity, and that's how to fix a mindset that will help you get sales consistently while maintaining your dignity. So understand that a mindset is the most important part for me. For any sales process, anything I'm going to teach you after now, I won't be honest with you if I don't try and fit your mindset. Because no matter the information I give you, 2 things are going to happen. It's either you will not believe the things that I say, or it's either you believe them and you'll not be able to perform at the frequency that you're supposed to perform at. So as regards fixing a mindset, that's like a whole nother class of its own. I'll probably if you guys are generous enough to invite me again to come and talk, it will be something I'd like to just talk about full time. But I'll be moving to the next topic, which is objections right now. So far so good. If there's anybody that has anything to ask me before I move to the next subtopic, this would be a really, really good time to ask a question. So for the next, I don't know, 45 seconds or 1 minute, if you have anything to ask, the floor will be open for the next 1 minute before we go into the next topic. So very quickly, does anybody have anything to say? Does anybody have anything to ask? About the mindset, about fixing your mindset, about your limiting beliefs, about how to, fix that, going to the salesperson. Does anybody have anything to say? If you have, please raise your hand very quickly. Can I move to the next topic?
Yes, sir.
Can I move to the next topic? Is everything
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you sure you don't have any questions as regards the first part of this class? Can I? Gideon, are you trying to say something? No. In the absence of that, I'm going to move to objection. Okay, William, success. You just raise your hand, please. I'm listening to you. What would you like to say?
Thank you very much. Oh, that was Tom. And
yeah,
I would like to ask, because like me now, I'm very new in this real estate as an agent. Okay. So I'm very new. I think this is my thereabout. So I've been having challenges with how to run ads. I don't know if there's anybody that can put me through towards that. I've been making my content. I've been writing, posting on my social medias, and a lot of people have been reaching out to me, like some friends and families. They have been reaching out to me. Oh, do you sell real estate properties now? Yes, I do. Stuff like that. And I've been trying to have a deal with them, but nothing has been coming up. But you talked about running an ad. So I don't know how to go about that. So if I don't know if there is
Mr. What that at the end of the class, I will link you up with somebody that can help you with running ads. I don't know if that's helpful, because I'm trying to do the whole of this class in under 30-35 minutes so people can just get a good night's rest. So I hear your question. I actually have somebody that can help you as regards that. So at the end of this class, please just try and reach out to me anyhow you can. I'll link you with the person that helped me with the ads. Has that been helpful for you, sir? Is that fine?
Thank you.
Mr. Williams, is that okay? Can we move on? Okay. Now, the second thing I'm talking about today is objections. Now, I don't want to use anything fancy to describe this word, but if you're a salesperson, understand that objections are always going to come up. Now, in a layman's term, an objection is just a feeling of disagreement. When you say something and a person has a feeling of disagreement, that is what an objection is. And understand that real estate is a multi-million product. And if people are going to give their hard-earned money give their hand in their pockets to bring out their hard-earned money for you, understand that they are going to have certain objections as regards why they should not spend that money on the product that you're selling. So you have to be comfortable with objections if you are going to be a successful salesperson. In fact, the sale that you're looking for is inside the objection that the client is giving you. So usually when a client objects to what you're saying, it's because they're having an internal conversation within themselves. They're asking themselves questions about what you're telling them, and they want answers. So if a client objects to you, sometimes it's good news, because it means that the client is having like an internal conversation within themselves and they're looking for answers. And understand that as a salesperson, you are the only source of information that your client has. So your client has to come to you with objections, because if they don't come to you, it means that they ask themselves questions and your clients don't have information. if your clients ask themselves the questions, they will likely mislead themselves. So be very happy when your clients ask you questions that seem like objections. You understand? So objection is a hindrance towards the sale. The objection is a roadblock, but that same roadblock is the road to where you're going. So you need to learn how to overcome objections. Now, in real estate or in selling other products, there will always be different types of objections. But for the purpose of this class, I'll be sharing 3 of the most common type of objections with you, especially if you're selling real estate. Now, the first one is the objection of time. You know, I'm sure most of you talk to clients and they'll tell you that, no problem, I'll buy this property, give me some time till next year, right? Or they'll tell you that, I'll buy it, but just give me some time. Understand? That's the first type of objection. Now, the second type of objection is the very common one that most of you experience probably on a daily basis, the objection of money. A client will tell you that, this your property is fantastic, but I don't have money to buy right now. That's a very common objection that I'm sure a lot of you battle with, the objection of money. Now, the third one is the objection of need. Now, you can't tell that this your property is good, but I don't need this product right now. So those are 3 of the most common ones: the objection of time, the objection of money, and the objection of need. Now, as a smart real estate person, you should get used to this type of objections. And if you are good at your job, you should even prepare for these objections before they come. So, for example, the objection of time, I'll be telling you about the 3 major objections and how you can counter it to your advantage. So if a client gives you the objection of time, tell you that they want to buy at a later time, it is your job as a salesperson to let them know that, look, real estate appreciates time. You know, this property you're looking at is 5 naira today, but by next week it's going to be 10 naira. So this time that you think that you have, you actually do have it, because I'm not saying that you're going to die, but understand that whenever it is that you are ready to go ahead with this decision, you're going to have to pay more. So this time you think that you have, you don't really have it in the grand scheme of things, because you're going to pay very dearly. You're going to pay out of your pocket for this time. So it is your job as a salesperson to counter the objection of time with the urgency of real estate. And the urgency of real estate is that buy today, because by tomorrow it is going to be worth 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. You don't have to be as plain as this in handling the objection, but you need to coin your lines. You need to coin your defense in this route and take it. Anytime they give you an objection of time, counter it to the fact that real estate appreciates with time. At the time they think that they have, they actually do not have it, and they need to make that decision and make that decision right now. Now, the second objection is the objection of money. Most people tell you that, this property is fantastic, or if I had money, I would have bought. Now, it is your job to find a way to devise a way to counter that argument. For example, somebody said they have an objection of money. That is where installmental payment comes in. Okay, this property is 1 million naira. It is okay if you don't have 1 million naira. Do you have 100,000 naira? You have, bring it. I can put you on a 6-month plan or a 12-month plan. You pay the rest small. Another way you can get them is to tell them that, look, why not buy a pre-launch price? You know, before this property gets on the market, we're launching this property next month. But since you say you don't have all this money now, you cannot buy this property. Okay, no problem. When next is the pre-launch price, I'll tell you, so that you can properly prepare yourself financially for this investment. So it is your job to find a way to handle those objections properly. It's just like for all my fine boys on this group, it's just like, let me properly explain an objection situation to you. So let's assume that Mr. Williams now wanted to ask a very, very beautiful girl out on a date. And Mr. Williams is staying in Yaba, but this very fine girl is staying in Ekpe. So naturally, if Mr. Williams is a sharp guy, he should know that if he tells the girl, oh, can we see? She's going to tell him what objection she's going to say. The objection of distance. Your house is too far. I cannot come. Do you understand? So it is Mr. Williams' job as a salesperson to say, okay, you know what? I want to see you tomorrow, but I'm going to send a car to come and pick you up. He has handled the objection of distance. She doesn't have any excuse as regards why she cannot come again, except she doesn't want to come. Do you understand? So you need to find a way to corner your clients when they bring up objections to you. That's not the time to panic. That's not the time to be worried. That's not the time to be fearful. You need to handle the objection properly, because it is inside that objection that the sale is inside that objection. If you don't handle that objection properly, you will probably not get the sale. So it is the job of your clients to object. It is the job of your clients to object. It is your job as a salesperson to professionally handle those objections. So understand the objections are going to come. Whether you are prepared for them is irrelevant. Objections are going to come, and it is your job as a salesperson to properly handle those objections. Now, the last objection is the objection of need. Most people say, well, this your property is good. I know about real estate investment, but I don't need real estate. But the problem about most of us selling real estate is that we always sell land. We don't sell the benefits of land. You understand? It's just like if you see an advertisement on, I want to cite a very popular one that all of us can understand. An advertisement on Lucozade Boost, right? You never see them talking about Lucozade Boost. You see them talking about the energy that Lucozade Boost gives. You see them talking about vitality. You see them talking about good health. They don't talk about come and buy Lucozade Boost. They sell the benefits of Lucozade Boost. Most of us struggle with selling land because, oh, I have a land somewhere that is good. Would you buy? It sounds very unattractive. It sounds very plain. It sounds very unappealing. It is not your job as a salesperson. You're not a land seller. You're selling financial freedom. You're selling a day where people don't have to work. You're selling financial independence. That is what you're selling. You're selling the future where people can sit in their houses and they don't have to go to work because they have assets that are working for them. Most of us struggle with sales because we don't know how to sell. We just pick up a flyer, post it, land in Ekpe, 500 square meters, excision, something, 1 million naira. That is not what you're saying. You're not a land seller. It's on money let people that sell land. That is not your job as a professional salesperson. Your job is to sell the benefits of that product. You need to be so skilled at your job that it just comes naturally. You need to know these things like the back of your hand. So I feel bad when I see real estate people struggling with sales because they don't know how to go about it. These things are actually very, very simple if you actually understand the workings of it. Now, I have so basically the 3 types of sales, the 3 types of objections that you usually come across are the objections of time, the objections of money, and the objection of need. So especially in real estate, we're selling properties worth millions of naira. People are definitely going to object to us. So it is the best thing, the smartest thing we can do as salespeople is to ensure that we are properly prepared for the objections that that come up. So I'll go over it again. The objection of time, you can counter it with them with urgency, telling them that property appreciates and you appreciate right now, it will be more expensive tomorrow. That's how you tackle the objection of time. Second, the objection of money, tell them about pre-launch prices, tell them about instrumental prices, tell them that you can negotiate a deal with them with your boss, allow them to pay for a longer period of time, find a way around it, but understand that these objections are going to come. Now, the last objection of need, everybody needs real estate, whether they realize it or not. Nobody wants to work until they're 60 or 70. It is always cool. You can tell your clients that, look, you're still a 30-year-old man. It is nice to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and rush to work and come back. Okay. Yes, yes, definitely. So, but when you get older, you're 40 or 50 years, it's not that easy. Your energy levels are lower. You want to spend more time with your family. You need to tell them that if they invest in that property today, they don't have to work when they have gray hair on their heads. They don't have to be worried about where their next meal will come from. They don't have to be waiting tirelessly for a pension. These are the things that real estate investment does for people. So it is your job to find a way to sell those benefits, sell them, polish it, find a way. It is your job. I can't tell you exactly how to do it, but this is the raw data. Find a way, to properly implement these things I'm telling you now. So I promised us that this class not more than 35 minutes. So I'm trying to hurry things up. Now, there's a formula that I use, right? It is for the purpose of this class, just call it the Olatide formula for handling objections. Now, I feel that it is smart to know how to handle objections, but it is even smarter to know how to prevent them. Meaning that if a client objects, it is nice if you can, handle that objection. But it's even nicer if you could arrange yourself in such a way that the client doesn't even come up with objections. So there's a way you can go about it where the client doesn't even object to you. Now, I figured this out by trial and error. Years and years and years of trying different things. And I realized that the best way to do it is to please write this down, is to understand the objection that you likely come with, and you make it into a sales pitch. So I'll go over it again. Understand the objections that you likely come up with and make those objections into a sales pitch. So let me give an example. I'll go over it again. Mr. Williams is asking a beautiful girl out on a date. So Mr. Williams already knows this girl, and knows that she stays in a very far place from him. So Mr. Williams understands certain things. The first thing Mr. Williams understands is the objection of distance. If I tell this girl to come and see me, she will tell me that her house is far. So if Mr. Williams is trying to pitch a relationship to this girl, the smartest thing he can do is that, Lolade, good morning, no, how are you? I'd like to see you tomorrow. I know you stay in First Stack, so I'm going to send my driver to pick you up from First Stack so we can have a date and then take you back. I know that your house is far, and I don't want you to probably get home later. I want to make sure that your safety is my priority, so I don't want you to go from such a long distance, entering an Uber. There are a lot of things that happen with Uber these days, so I ensure that my driver picks you up at 7 a.m. in the morning and makes sure that you're home before 4 p.m. He has handled the objection of distance. So understand that your prospects are going to have certain objections. It is your job to make a sales pitch when you are toasting them to buy the land. Make sure that all those objections are taken care of in your sales pitch. Let me give you an example. If you are selling Ekpe, understand that the first objection is going to be the objection of distance. It is your job to tell them about the Eleko Ekpe road that they've done, saying that if somebody is living in Naija, the person will get to Ekpe faster than if the person is going to Yaba if there's traffic. From Naija to Ekpe, there's zero traffic. But from Naija to Yaba, you spend a longer time than from Naija to Ekpe, meaning that the objection of distance is not there. If they now say that they still don't want to buy, you tell them that, look, real estate investment is never really about proximity. You understand? Most of you invest in dollars, but you're not staying in the UK. You don't care about distance. If a place is profitable, you don't have to be physically there. As long as you have an investment in that location that is making you money, no problem. Even if you don't want to stay in Ekpe, guess what? There are people that want to stay in Ekpe, and they'll pay you house rent to stay in the property that you have in Ekpe. So I'm not saying that you should leave your house in Ukoyi or Yaba and go and start living in Ekpe. I'm saying that Ekpe will make you a lot of money, so invest in Ekpe. That is how you handle an objection of distance. You guys should clap for me now. That was like a fantastic speech. Please, I need to see emojis of that was really that was fantastic. So basically, the idea is that you should know how to properly handle objections. And if you know how to properly handle objections, you would make more money than you can spend. I can assure you that. And this is off the record. Like, this has nothing to do with class or whatever. I just want to tell you guys as it is. Now, what I want to tell you guys is that there's a lot of money in real estate. I promise you that there's a lot of money in real estate. Like, if you stay with it and you are consistent and you are hardworking and you are persistent, I can assure you that you're going to make so much money. I promise you that you're going to make so much money. So if you are trying to make money, you're in the right place. You understand? But there are certain things that you need to do so that you can make the money that you're looking for. But if it's money that you're looking for, you are in the right industry. You just need to know how to properly navigate that industry. So the last one, how to connect your clients with properties. Now, this one I'm just going to breeze over it because of time. I promise that this class is not going to be too long. So how to connect clients with properties that are meant for them. So the first thing you need to do for your clients is create an investment goal. So most clients buy real estate out of peer pressure. My friend bought a land, so I'm going to buy. I know. Put off your. I don't put up. Adeobi, Adebola. Thank you very much, Mr. Adebola. So most people buy. Okay, I'll answer questions very quickly. Most people buy properties out of peer pressure, right? So they don't really have an investment goal. It is your job as a salesperson. And the thing is that don't just sell properties to a client just because you want to sell the property. You need to have a little humanity in you. I've had clients that were going to buy an expensive property, but I discouraged them from buying it, and I asked them to buy a cheaper one because the cheaper one was more in line with their investment goals. So it's not really about earning a commission. The thing is that if you sell good products to your clients, you don't just make a client, you make a friend. And it is better when you have a friend than when you have a client. Friends advertise your business behind your back. Clients just buy from you and they go. If you make a friend out of the client because you did the right thing, I can promise. I have clients that have brought 3, 4. I have a client. I'd rather not mention his name, but through that client, I've gotten like 8 other clients. So it's not really about the money and all of that. You have to build an investment. You have to create an investment goal for your client, right? know what goal they're trying to achieve by investing in real estate. When you know that goal, you now know the properties to recommend for them. So sometimes you might be honest with yourself and say, look, this person wants to buy a property that I actually don't have in my portfolio right now. Don't be too ashamed to refer them to somebody else and maybe split the commission. But never ever sell a ridiculously pointless property to somebody because you want to make money. In the short term, you will gain. But in the long term, when the person realizes that they've probably been, I don't know, scammed or all of that, they won't be happy with you. So create an investment goal for your clients. Talk to them about their needs. You understand? When you know what their needs are, create an investment goal for them, and then now find properties that align with that goal. So there's no magical formula to align clients with certain properties. Properties are not just waiting to be aligned. People need to buy properties that in line with their investment goals. Somebody is young, under 30, they want to enter real estate. It's one thing to tell them to buy developing areas. Number one, developing areas have low entry point, meaning that more people can afford it. And secondly, developing areas appreciate faster than most other areas. You know, properties in Ekwedi did almost 300% in the past 4 years. So a younger person, create an investment goal for them and align them, you know, with the properties that they have. Now, another way to go about this is to know the client's needs, right? Ask probing questions, find out why the client wants to invest money, find out how much they have, find out what their investment goal is, find out what they hope they will achieve by investing in that property, you know, and just do the right thing by aligning them, you know, with that investment. So basically that'll be all for how to connect your clients with the property that they want to buy. So today I was able to quickly cover, you know, the mindset problem. I was able to quickly cover the objection problem. I was also able to cover how you can connect your clients with, you know, the properties that they want to buy. So I have to do some things quite hurriedly because it is my style to not let classes run for longer than they should. So, and it's also a Saturday night. Most of you are already exhausted from this job. So I hope I was able to properly communicate my ideas to you. I hope you learned one or two things tonight. I hope I'm also invited another time to come and, you know, share my experiences with you. And I had such an amazing time with you guys tonight, and I cannot wait to see you guys again. So you guys clap for me, please. A round of applause for me. Please, 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 very quickly, very quickly, very quickly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that'll be that. Does anybody have any questions that you'd like to ask? Anybody very quickly in like two or 3 minutes so that we can call it today? Does anybody have anything they would like to ask me? Anybody, anything at all about sales or about this class that we just had? Anybody wants to ask anything? This is the right time to ask. This is the right time to ask. In the freke.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, is he hearing me? Can I go on with the question?
Go ahead with your question. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I just wanted to ask, I think it's somehow related to the money objection. How do you get to know a client that is ready to buy? Like, you're not sure if he has the money or not, but he's not giving you this vibe for, it's just like someone that is postponing. How do I get to know if this person is really interested in getting a property instead of spending much time and energy on him? At the end, I don't. Yes, that's just the question. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Today, are you still there? Mr. Today, is this today?
No, sir, it's not. It's no longer on the meeting.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me try and answer your question. All right. So if I get it correctly, you're asking, how do you know if a person is sure, if a person is ready to buy, and you don't want to waste your time? Is that correct, Friday?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. So I think the speaker spoke a lot about it. Why he was taking the class, if you paid attention. And from my experience, the best way to handle this is by asking qualifying questions. In sales, there's something about profiling and qualifying your. There's one thing about sales. You need to qualify and profile your prospects. Do you understand? You need to qualify. If it is from a lead, maybe from ad, or maybe someone referred the person to you, or you enter into that person's DM, you need to profile the clients. And you can only do this by asking the proper questions. Are you looking into buying a property? What's your investment goals? Or what are your investment goals? What's your budget presently? And which area are you looking to buy? And what's your budget? Do you get? So when you ask these questions, you are putting the prospect or the client in a place to give you relevant information that you can use to know. For example, when you're asking investment goals, you get response like, I'm looking at buying my property in the next 6 months. I'm looking at saving up. I'm expecting one thrift, that is a job. I'm expecting a cooperative money. I'm expecting salary. Do you understand? You'll be able to qualify that client that, oh, okay, or that prospect that, oh, okay, this person wants to buy, but he doesn't have the money now. Or this prospect is ready to buy, but is expecting money. Do you understand? You know how to follow up properly and not just bug the prospect and not just keep disturbing the prospect or the client. Do you understand? So it is very important that you ask quality questions. You qualify the prospects. You ask questions that will give you valuable information that will help you to close the transaction. Do you understand? So at so many times, a lot of we realtors, we don't follow the due process because of excitement that somebody is entering your DM and wants to buy, or you have a glimpse that this person might likely want to. You just bug the person with your own options and your own suggestions. And in most cases, this person just has a lot of things going on in his or her mind, and you don't know because you are just guessing the person has money. And sometimes they have money, but they need someone who is going to guide them towards making the proper decision. Do you understand? So, and as a sales consultant, as a professional realtor, you should be able to act professionally and accordingly by asking quality questions that will give you a great insight into what that person wants so that you can advise the person accordingly. And you should always understand, like what the speaker said the other time, that you cannot force them to make decision. You are an advisor. You are a professional person. You're a consultant. You don't force people to do things. You are not a dictator. You advise them by giving them quality reasons to do so. You are not selling the land. You are not an omonile. You are not selling the land. You are selling financial freedom. You are selling investments, and you are selling prestige. Do you understand? So you have to be able to put them in such a place where they will see you as such, not that you are bugging them or trying to push money out of their pockets. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, sir. Perfect. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Any other question from today's class or generally on sales? Does any other person has a question, or is there any contribution? All right. If there's no question, thank you all very much for being a part of this class. I'm very, very certain that we've learned something valuable this evening. And I love the way our speaker was able to dissect the power of mindsets. The power of mindsets. You see, you cannot achieve anything without mindsets. Your mindset has to be shifted in the right direction for you to get the results that you want. So I'm glad that we've taken one or two lessons from.